Well, hello everyone, welcome to my channel One More Pen, where I talk about pens and anything related to that. So I thought what I do today is I want to do some ink swatches. I've got quite a few blue inks and I think I'll break it up into two parts. I'll do a part 1 and a part 2 because I think there are too many to do in one video. I've got quite a few diamine inks, which I think I'll do in a separate video. And today what I will do is I will swatch my inks from different brands. I have some Parker, Pelikan, Iroshizuku and some others as well. So I'll swatch some blue inks today and I'll do another video with my blue diamine inks. Let's head over to the paper. Right, so here you have my inks for this video. I have a Iroshizuku Keki, Parker washable blue, of course. Pelikan 441, and I think that is royal blue, Waterman Serenity blue, and then I have two Schaer blues, just the normal standard blue as well as a blue black. So I'll be swatching these. And for the swatches I will be using my notebook. It's a Picker CD11, and I'll be using my roller and cleaner glass dip pen. Alright, let's get started, and I think we'll start with Parker washable blue, because why not? You have to be careful not to make a mess with this. I will do the swatches with some cotton buds. Now I know some people will say don't use cotton buds. It's not good for the environment. Well, I have these already, so I'm going to use them and finish them, and then I will move on to something different. So immediately I have the feeling that this is a drier ink. I do a second swab there, just so that we can see what it will look like on a wetter pen. Right, so this is Parker washable blue. It is certainly one of my favorite colors. Very stable, standard, safe color to use anywhere. Let's do a little quote. Alright, and of course need to wash the pen and just dip it in some water. That takes care of it, and then just wipe it clean with a Kleenex, and we can go on to the next color. So I'll just put the Parker away, and I think the color that, well, one of the inks that I very recently got is this Pelican Blue, It's not something that I see in the stationery stores here very much. And I was traveling a bit, and I found myself in Kenya doing some work there. And in Kenya, for some reason, Pelikan is it's a very common ink. You find it everywhere. So I got myself a bottle. So we'll do a swab. And immediately this looks like a slightly darker blue than the Parker. Second wipe to see what a wet pen would look like. And get some ink on the pen. Right, so here we have Pelikan 4001 Royal Blue. Definitely a darker, more saturated blue. And we can do a quote. William James. Oh, sorry about that. Well, let me clean off that pen. Some water and wipe it down. So the Parker has dried completely already, and I really like the shading that I'm seeing on the Pelikan. So let's close this bottle and put it away. Right. So which color do I think is very clear? Let's go with next with Waterman Serenity Blue. I must say that I found this ink to be also a very, very safe ink. Very good for my pens. It cleans out so easily. It's just the ink that I really love to use. So we'll do a swab of that. And immediately again, it's a drier ink, not so wet, but second swab gives us an idea of what a wet pen, wet nib would look like. And I've already got ink on my fingers. Of course, that will happen. Let's get some ink on the pen. Right. Of course, I'm not used to writing with a glass pen, and my handwriting with this thing is really not good. But as long as we can read it. Serenity Blue. Plenty wet on the glass pen, of course. shouldn't have wiped it now, but it's not a problem. We can just get a little bit more ink going. And we do a little quote. Lots of reason to be pessimistic about the world right now. Good old Carl Rogers. Now, I don't know if I totally agree with that quote, because I would say that, well, the thing in the world that makes me pessimistic, it really is the people. But, you know, we'll just take it as it is. Right, let me clean off this pen and we can go to the next ink. Need to just close this bottle so that we don't have a spill. Come on, there we go. I think we can move on to a clean page here. That looks about right. Okay, let's go with a lovely blue ink. We'll go with the Iroshizuku and Sheaffer. This bottle, as you can see, I haven't used much of it. It's a fairly new bottle. It's a lovely ink. Of course, not on the cheap side. These inks are a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it. So we'll do a swab. Oh, and immediately it contrasts with the other ones. Much lighter ink. Second swab. See what a wetter nib would look like. Get some ink on the pen. Right. Iroshizuku and Sheaffer. I think that's quite a lovely color. Education is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. Clever, old B.F. Skinner. But true. All right. When I look at the at this here, this lovely shading happening right there. I think when I've done all of them, I will zoom in on each one of these so we can take a closer look. But for now, let me just clean off this pen. Get that ready for the next one, and close up this ink. I have found I don't know if you will agree with me, but I found the Keki to be a rather dry ink, and in my pens that that are not particularly wet, I don't find that this is the best ink. So I would not use this ink in just any pen. I think it works really well in a pen with a really good wet nib with really good flow. But then it is a really nice ink to use. So let me put that one aside. Alright, so next up we have Schaer Blue. Now Sheaffer, it's an ink that I've been struggling to find, which is strange. You wouldn't think that you would need to struggle to find these inks, but I've been looking for Sheaffer Black for a long time, and it's just not available in our stationery stores. What you do find is this pretty standard Sheaffer Blue. This one you will find, but really none of the others. So I really like these bottles that they come in as well. Right. So let's get a swab of Schaer Blue. I must say I really do enjoy this ink. I think it's a slightly wetter ink perhaps, and I find that it does really well in my broad nibs. It really lets you can really see the shading on it. So this is, as far as I know, it's just Schaer Blue. And already here on the ink swatch you can see some lovely shading happening. I really love the way that it dries. Let's do a quote. We're doing quotes today. I wonder if you can see the theme running through my quotes. Yeah, this is not a direct quote, but it's close enough. Yeah, there we go. I really like the way that this ink dries. Lovely shading. It's also a very well behaved ink. It cleans out so easily in my pens. I just have absolutely no issues with it. Right, just dry off the pen and let's close up this bottle. And put it aside. And let me just see if that's in focus. That looks fine. And the last ink for this video is a Schaer Blue Black, and I have to say I have not opened this bottle yet. I really just got it the other day, and quite by accident. I wasn't even looking for a blue black. I was simply looking for my standard black Sheaffer ink, which I couldn't find anywhere. And the online store where I order quite a few things just happened to have it in stock along with a black ink. So I ordered it. I didn't even know you get a blue-black Sheaffer ink. So this is the first time that I've opened this bottle, and I have a feeling that it's not going to disappoint. Let's get an ink swatch going there. Ooh, I love this. Seconds. One just to see what a wet nib would look like. like a faded, really faded blue. Not so black, not so dark as I thought it would be, but I like it nevertheless. Sheaffer Blue Black. I have a feeling this is an ink that I will be using quite a bit because I really like the way that it looks. So, what quote? Let's see. Who looks outside dreams? You may already guess who this is from. Who looks inside awakes. Young. Well, okay, let me just wipe this pen off and put it aside, and we can have a closer look at the inks in a moment. And let me just put this cap on, because I already have some ink on my fingers there. So let's take a closer look. Alright, let's look at the Parker washable blue first. And some lovely shading there, especially when we look at the scribble there. Not a lot of shading, but a little bit. You can see around the edges it has, the way that it has dried, it has a bit of shading. It's a nice ink. The Pelikan, which I think is very close to the Parker, it's a little bit darker, especially the wetter part, and around the edges especially some lovely shading, and you can even see it there. Over there you can see some lovely shading. Slightly darker than the Parker. I must say the Pelikan is also, it's a very well behaved ink. I have some pens that are really difficult and don't do well with some inks, and when I have those and I put Pelikan in, it just writes really well. So this is a really good ink. Next, the Waterman Serenity Blue, also just a really good basic ink. All of these inks really, but it has some lovely shading when you look at that over there. Oh, that's just beautiful. Just move the bottle out of the way. Go over to the Iroshizuku and Keki. A drier ink, but with really good ink flow with a wet nib. It's a lovely ink and lovely line variation. Oh, not line variation, shading. Some lovely shading going on there. And then my two Sheaffer inks, the Standard Blue and the Blue Black. Let's look at the Standard Blue first. Certainly I like the way it looks with a, well, what it would look like with a wetter nib. Really nice darker blue. As you can see there, a little bit more dark. I really love that. Not a lot of shading. It's but very good ink. It's really interesting how the Blue Black Sheaffer has dried it. It almost has a green tint to it. I don't know if you can see it, but it definitely has this sort of a teal kind of a look. Don't know if the camera can detect that, but in the sunlight, definitely it is it's not as black as I thought it would be. It's much lighter, and it's a more like a faded color, but quite unique. I don't have another color that I think comes even close to this one. It's definitely an ink that I'll be using quite a bit. I really love how that ink has dried there. A little bit of shading, not much, but really nice ink nevertheless. So thank you for joining me for this video. I will be doing a second part where I swatch my Diamine blue inks very soon, so keep an eye out for that one. I'll see you in the next video.